but I am intending to come live to you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So apologies for my absence, but as I say, moving house, people say it's stressful. It's not stressful. It's just a whole heap of work. So I was focusing on maintaining the business, closing off the group fitness side of things, and that was emotional in itself. I have a deep connection with my group fitness team, so it's hard to leave those guys, but we're still in touch. I'm catching up with someone Saturday. So yeah, there's been a lot going on. It's just been busy rather than stressful. I think stress, you get to choose what's stressful, but I would say this definitely wasn't stressful. It was just been super busy, and then just getting settled in, setting up the rooms, finding out how you're going to use it. But I want to come to you with value today, talking about why you struggle to keep the weight loss off. So I've just done a 4-day free challenge in my group, all about losing weight and gaining strength, and basically giving people so much value in terms of what I teach my VIP private clients. And that's all about relearning what you can eat, how to eat to fuel your body and lose weight without missing out on life. And I wanted to kind of extend that value to you today and come to you with the 3 reasons that you struggle to lose the weight, to keep the weight off once you've lost it. So I'm going to come to you 3 reasons why and what you can do around them too. And I sometimes forget people don't know my backstory because people always think and assume that I've always been into fitness and that fitness and healthy eating's always been my thing, but it's totally not the case. I'm about 9 years into my journey now. Previously, I was a size 18, size 18 plus, squeezing into the jeans. They weren't quite fitting on. I was probably down to a few items in my wardrobe that I could fit into and wear comfortably. Wasn't really about what you want to wear, it's what fits you. So yeah, I'm really not comfortable in my body, but in total denial about the state of my health and my weight. So I've been there. I know what that feels like. And if you're catching us on the replay, remember hashtag replay. Let me know if you catch it on the replay. And if you're watching live, remember pop your name in the comments so I can see who's joining, and let me know your biggest takeaway at the end. All right, team, let's get into it because time is precious. So the number one reason people fail to be able to keep the weight loss off is because the diet didn't work for their lifestyle. It was extreme. So what happens is a lot of people go on extreme diets, whether it be 800 calories, 1200 calorie diets, and they can't maintain that. So it's not actually possible. And when I say can't maintain it, there's maybe things that they've stopped having to exercise, they've stopped having to eat out in order to maintain those 800 to 1200 calories. It's such few calories that you can quite easily go out and just have one meal out and you've blown that. It's gone. And it's also very restrictive in terms of what you can and cannot eat. And the chances are your favorite foods aren't going to be in that. So therefore, it's not sustainable for how you enjoy food, how you like to live your life. And extreme diets are never going to be long term. And the other piece around it is people often beat themselves up because like, oh, I couldn't do this, I couldn't even manage to keep to this diet. But it's because it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for your lifestyle, and there's very few people where extreme diets work for. And the science is there that shows that actually what happens after these diets is people put on even more weight than they first started. So you can be putting all that work in, restricting yourself, going through all the pains, being like, oh, well, at least I'm losing weight. And then once you come off it, whether it be choice or whether you fall off it, you then end up creeping back up, putting the weight on, and even worse, putting even more on than before you started. So you become super disheartened, going, oh my God, what am I meant to do? This worked for a while, but I just can't manage to do it. I'm so lazy. I can't believe I failed at doing this. And you get into that negative space of believing that you're a failure, you can't lose weight, it's always going to be this way. And the truth is, it's not on you. The only thing about your decision was to go for the extreme diet. The extreme diet was never going to work for you long term, and it doesn't work for anybody long term. And if we think of even like the bikini models, extreme diets, they have to then go back to normal eating patterns for at least 6 months to a year after to allow the hormones to recover. So extreme diets are never going to work for you if you enjoy food, socializing, having a life, and want to actually work out and exercise and look after whole body health and mental health. They're not there as something that's going to sustain you for a long term. They are really exactly that, fad extreme diets. So please don't do those. Go on my Healthy Well Women group and join us in our next challenge. If you are thinking about, or if you're currently on part of an extreme fad diet of 800 to 1200 calories, please reach out and I will give you free help to help get you back on track. All right, what was number 2 then? Number 2 was around too much work. Like if you have to count points, if you have to count calories, whether that be MyFitnessPal, whether that be Weight Watchers, Slimming World, whatever it may be, it might just end up feeling like it's too much work and you can't figure it out. For many clients, I don't use MyFitnessPal. Now, don't get me wrong, if someone comes to me and they really want to work with me and that is a way they like to track, then I will work with them on it, but then I look to ease them off it. And I think this is a summary for how I work with individuals. It's a personalized approach, which is why I give people a personalized meal plan around foods that they enjoy, foods they like to eat, and building in their social life. If they want to use MyFitnessPal, then absolutely. If that's the way we start off, that's fine, but then we'll look to wean them off it. I know some people think, oh, tracking calories, it's not that much work, but it can be. It can be a lot of work to track every meal, every single thing you have. And if you're working in the corporate world, busy job, your kids, you're running a household, it can get overwhelming. And again, you can just lose heart because you can't maintain the tracking. So it's that whole thing about, whereas if I give you a meal plan, I then start to educate you on what a plate of food looks like for you for breakfast, lunch, dinner, what snacks look like for you. And then from that, you can build on actually what does a meal look like. So it's that whole thing about learning what food looks like for you, for your body, for your routine and what you do. And it's that whole thing about not having to stick to the traditional breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And it's going, this is your food for the day, eat it whenever you want, what works for you. So quite a lot of the time, people think it's too much work to lose weight. And that's because they're calorie counting or they're using MyFitnessPal or many other tracking devices. And it just becomes onerous and you have to think about it. Whereas, yes, start off on a meal plan can be work, but once you get used to the recipes, once you get into the flow, and also building your own recipes, so ones that are your go-to favorites can be built into that meal plan. So you get the hang of it, you get a feel for it, and then wind up the meal plan, and then you start to do what they badge as intuitive eating. So you know what a meal looks like, you know what your body's craving, you know what gives you energy, you know what depletes energy. So that was the second one, about being too much work. And the way around that is actually getting into intuitive eating, understanding what a portion looks like for you, understanding what food makes you feel good, what food depletes you, and being in that view of where you don't have to be calorie counting all the time. You can start there and then wean yourself off it. It's not for the long term. Okay, number 3 is short-term mindset. Oh, yes. The reason you struggle to keep the weight off is because actually you were never committed to a healthy lifestyle. You were committed to losing weight for holiday. You were committed to losing weight for the wedding. You were committed to losing weight for, that party, your birthday coming up, whatever it was. That short-term mindset, that's okay if that's what you want to do. And that's what helps you in terms of giving yourself a goal is through events coming up, then that's fine, that's cool. But what you can't expect is to maintain that weight loss, because actually if you're aiming for the short term, the holiday, the wedding, an event, a birthday, then the chances are as soon as that event happens, you're going to relax and have whatever you want. And then that's when the weight's going to come back on. So what can you do about that? Well, it is changing your mindset and thinking, right, what do I want for long-term health? What is it I want to feel in my body? How do I want to feel energy levels? How do I want to feel in terms of waking up every day? What are the things I want to do? Am I struggling to run after the kids in the woods? Am I struggling to chase the football? Do I want to be able to go up the stairs without being out of breath? Do I want to be able to fit in my clothes comfortably? So instead of using events or holidays as your goal, think about day-to-day life. What is the quality of your lifestyle, and use that as a goal instead. All right, I'm going to recap for you. So 3 reasons why you struggle to keep the weight loss off. Number 1 was all around the fad diets, the extreme diets. So science shows you'll put on more weight afterwards than when you started, and they're just not sustainable. You can't maintain that restriction. You can't maintain that lack of life, because all you're focusing on is extreme 800, 1200 calories. You might think, yeah, I feel great. But then actually, chances are you'll only be able to do that for 2-3 weeks, and then you'll put the weight on afterwards. Don't get me wrong, some people do have discipline to do it for longer, bikini models being that example. But for long-term life and quality of life, if you've fallen off an extreme fat diet, it just tells you it doesn't work for you. So don't beat yourself up. Just go, this doesn't work for me. This is not how I want to live my life. I want to be able to enjoy food, go out, make your choice based on the lifestyle you want. So don't beat yourself up about it. Extreme fat diets aren't meant for everyone, and they're not meant for long term, and I would never advocate them. So instead, think about actually what is it I want, and then choose a diet that works for you. Diet is everything we eat, and there's no such thing as one diet better than another. It's just about what diet works for you, your lifestyle, and what it is you want out of life. And then number 2 was too much work, too much effort, the calorie counting, the tracking on different devices, too much work. You get bored doing it, you get fed up having to think about what's in this food, having to track it, take a picture of it, whatever it may be. You get bored, you get fed up with tracking. And it depends on where you're at. Tracking is only short term, and it's about choosing a method that's going to allow yourself to wean off that, whether it's working with myself with meal plans, or if you do like to use MyFitnessPal. Either way, we start off looking at the food you're having, what that looks like for the day, re-educating yourself on what that looks like for you as an individual, and then gradually we wean you off it so it becomes intuitive, so it becomes second nature. You know what your body's craving, you know what you're going to eat, and actually it's just about making healthy food choices. That's good for me, that gives me energy, that doesn't. So tracking, again, isn't for long term. Some people will be religious and stick to it all their lives. If it works for them, cool. But the chances are, if you're tracking and feel it's too much work, again, don't beat yourself up about it. It just doesn't work for you. And yes, you can do it short term, but you've got to have something on the back end of that. So if it's not educating you on what food looks like and it doesn't fit with your lifestyle, then you need to look at a personalized approach. And the third one was short-term mindset. Again, exactly the same. It might work for you short term, for the holidays, for the events, but if you're frustrated by the work you put in and then the weight you put back on afterwards, and oh my God, here we go again, it's even worse than before, then again, short-term mindset maybe isn't serving you anymore. When we're younger, in our 20s, 30s, we get away with it. You know, the kind of bouncing up and down with weight, and the weight would always come back off. No bother if you went on holiday, all inclusive, and the weight went on. No bother, it come off again after a week or two. Once we start hitting our 40s, that doesn't happen as quickly, and that can be frustrating, and it can be concerning and worrying for some people too. So it's going to actually, maybe the short-term mindset is no longer serving you. Maybe it's no longer working for your body. So instead, looking at the long term, how do I want to live my life? What do I want my health to feel like, to look like in my body? What does that mean for me? And making choices of aging well, living a healthy life, and what that means for you as an individual. So ultimately, if we were to say patterns around those things, all those 3 things are really short term, honest work, and the chances are they're not going to work for you long term. Very rarely work for people long term. So think about long-term health, long-term health eating, what you want in terms of your own energy, how you want to feel when you wake up in the morning, how you want to feel mind and body when you're putting your clothes on, and stop beating yourself up if you've been on a diet and it doesn't work, or stop beating yourself up if you went on a diet and then put even more weight on afterwards. It's proven, it happens, it's there. You've just not found the right diet that works for you. No one is better than the other. It's about what fits with you and your lifestyle, and that's the most important thing, and that's why I do a personalized approach, and that's why I've been able to maintain a healthy weight over the last 9 years, because it's not about restricting my life, it's about intuitive eating, because I'm in that place now. So it's about where you start to where you want to go to where you can then be maintaining your healthy weight and doing all the things you want to do and live a quality life and have your health for as much as we can. All right, team, let me know, hashtag replay if you're on the replay. Let me know your biggest takeaway. And it's Black Friday on Friday. So I'm going to do my first ever Black Friday sale. 25% off my Revive Women Nutrition program. Is going to run for 1 day only. And it's only going to be this time. That's it. Once a year. That's it. I don't ever do sales. So it's going to be once a year Black Friday sale on Friday, of course. So if you want to know more about that, keep your eyes open, because I'm only doing it once and it'll only be on Friday till midnight. After that, doors are shut. All right, team, I will see you on Wednesday and in the Healthy Well Women group. Keep your questions coming. Anything around nutrition, fitness, long-term health, hit me up. Let me know what's happening. Take care, and I shall